Hello, good morning. Hello,
Ma'am.
good morning. ভালকে শুনি আছা ন? My voice is clear. Okay, so today we will start types of web pages. Okay, so okay, you can hear me, right? শুনি আছা ন? Let me check the chat. Okay, so today we are discussing the types of web pages. So basically, there are two types of web pages: static web pages and dynamic web pages. Okay, in some of the books or somewhere else, you may get there are two types of web pages: static web pages and dynamic web pages. But there are actually, we can say, three types of web pages. Not actually, but somewhere you will get there are two types of web pages, and somewhere you will get there are three types of web pages. Okay, so one is your static web pages, then dynamic web pages, then active web pages. Okay, so let's see. So first come to the static web pages. So now what is static web pages? You know what is a web page. You all know that what is a web pages and what the language is used to create a web pages. Okay, so web page HTML language is used to create a web pages, right? So, what is static web pages? Static web pages is very simple. It is written in, as you know, that HTML, then JavaScript, then CSS. Basically, static web pages is very simple. It you can create a web pages by simply write in HTML languages, and you can add also CSS also. Okay. But now, what is the static web pages? Now, here it is clear that static web page means what? A static web page remains the same, means remain constant, will give you the same result, means it is static for all its life, unless and until you manually changes it contents. Clear? Means what? A static web page is static. Static means what? It remains same. It remains constant for all its life until and unless you manually changes its content. Clear? Now, what is the working? Now, first come to the example of web pages, static web pages. Examples are something like home pages, your where the login pages. Okay, for any website where for any, I think take the login page, it is always static, because in the login page what are the informations are there, the login text box and the buttons are there. Okay, so this page is same, but after you log in, the home page may be same, but it may be different also. Okay, let's take the example of Facebook. Okay, Facebook, the home page of Facebook, it's different for all the user, right? For your home page is different, for another home page is different. Okay, the home page is not same for all the users, the home page is different, but the login page is same, right? So we can say that that page is a static page where the contents remain constant, or the contents remain same for all its life, until and unless you manually changes the HTML code and change the content. Clear? And static web page is very simple. That whatever you pages you made in your project, like in any application based project, you made some pages, right? Home page and login page, that pages are static. So this is static web pages. Now come to the working of the static web page. How the means static web page work. So here for static web page, first what, when the client sent an HTTP request. Okay, client sent an HTTP request means what? The request is sent from your web browser, right? When from the web browser is sent a request for retrieving a web page to the server, means what? The client sent its request to the web server. So after that what? The web server locate the web page, means he in his disk or in his memory he searches for the web pages and he locate the web pages. Okay, and after that he send it back to the user by using the same HTTP response. Okay, so this is a common request and response uh, scenario. So here in this diagram, as you can see, this is a web browser and this is a web server. The web browser send a HTTP request to the web server for particular page. Now the web server, what it does, he locate the requested web page on the disk. Means he searches the web pages that is there in his disk, and if he found that web pages, he simply send it back to the web browser. Clear? Means what? The server send the response to the client without doing any additional process here. Means we can say the server job in this case is simply to locate or simply to find a file on his disk and send its contents to the browser. The server doesn't perform any extra processing. Okay, clear? Means what? The server, he will not do any extra processing, or he will not uh, we can say perform any additional processing. Simply he find the page. Okay, and if he found that place, he send the page to the web browser. Means we can say it is a pre-created uh, pages. Static web pages are already created. Okay, already created, and you stored it in a web server. Okay, when the server get the request for that web pages, he simply find the web page and send you back. He doesn't give any extra effort. Okay, he only sent you back the pages. So this is all about static web page. Is clear? Static web pages. It is a simple request and response. First the client requests for the web page to the server, and simply the server gives the response. The server doesn't perform any additional processing or additional work or anything for the web pages. Simply transfer the web page to the web browser. Clear? See, I can't check your chat. Wait. Clear or not? All of you clear? Okay. Oh, someone is there in my lobby. Wait. Okay, this one is static. This one is all about the static web page. Then come to the dynamic web page. So I hope static web page is clear. So in dynamic web page, in static web page, what is static web page? In a static web page, all the contents are static. Means the contents will not change until and unless you manually changes the code, right? So in dynamic web page, the content of pages is different for different users. As I have just told you the example of Facebook. Okay, so here the contents or the contents of the web pages are different for different user, and here these pages take more time to load than a static web pages. Okay, now the dynamic web pages are used where the information changes frequently. Suppose for example the stock price, the weather report, or your, what we can say, the, if you want to check the dollar, US dollar and India rupee value, then these things are frequently changes, right? So these are the dynamic web pages. So here how they work, the work is that when the user sent a request for a web pages, uh, here the means what, it is not a pre-created web page. The dynamic web page is not, we can say, what a pre-created web page means. It is not created and stored in a file in the web server. Instead, what it does, when a user sends a request for a dynamic web page, the server then looks the dynamic web pages, okay, which is actually a program. Okay, the server execute the program locally. The server execute the program locally, and it produces the output at the runtime. Okay, and after it sent the result to the web browser. Means what? first first the user sent an HTTP request to the web uh, to the server for a particular website, okay, or for a particular page. Second step is that since it is not already stored in a file, okay, in a disk, okay, it is a program, we can say it is an application program. Suppose you ask for the dollar value with respect to our Indian value. First of all, what the server have to search what is the current value of the current in terms of Indian value. Okay, suppose you ask for the weather. Okay, so first of all, what the server will have to search the the information. So this is a program. So second step is that it calls an application program. A program is executed. Okay, in a program is executed. This is a program. A program is executed, and what is the result of the program? The result of the program is maybe a web page. It is a web page. Okay, and the result is sent. The result uh, is sent to the browser. It is clear? Is clear or not? See, see, when you are request for a web page to a web server, okay, if it is a dynamic page, if it is a static page, then no problem. The server serves it in its disk and give you the result. But if it is a dynamic web page, this page is not there. So first of all, what you have to do, you have to meet the means inform. You have to collect the information. How? Here simply it calls it executes a program, and from that program he get the result, and the result is an HTML page. Okay, the result is an HTML page. Suppose you were asking for anything, the value, suppose the dollar and the Indian rupee, you give our Indian rupee and wait for the result, and he will give you the respective dollar value. Okay, so this one is a program. So first it execute the program, and whenever it collect the output, it give you the output to the web browser. Simple. And the program is executed locally in the server. Remember that the program is executed in the server. Okay, the program is executed in the server. The program is there in the server. The program is executed at the runtime. Whenever you made the request, at that time the program is executed. Okay, and give you the response. So this is all about dynamic web page. Clear? Okay. Now come to the next one is our active web page. So basically, in some books or somewhere you will get two types of web pages. One is dynamic, one is uh, static. But somewhere you may get the three types of web pages also. Okay, so don't be confused if you'll get two type of web pages in Wikipedia or somewhere. Okay, so here, what is an active web page? After that, we will come to the difference between static and dynamic web page. Okay, first we complete that. What is an active web page? So what is there in dynamic web page? In dynamic web pages, the program is executed in the server locally. Okay, but here in active web pages, the program is also executed in the some program is executed in the server locally, and some program are sent to the browser, web browser, and some program are executed at the browser. Okay, so in this active web pages, so we can say a web page, we can say this is an active web page if it execute a program on the client side. If a program is executed on the client side, that is on web browser, we can say that this is an active web page. Okay, so an active web page not only send HTML, JavaScript and CSS to the browser, but it sent a program. It sent a program to the web browser. Here you can see this is the diagram of an active web page. First the client sent an HTTP request to the web server. Okay, web server. So after that the server after that either find the HTML page directly static, means if the client is asked for something an HTML page, a static page, then the server give you directly the response. Okay, the server will not take any load, but or the requested program on the disk dynamic, if the client is asking for a dynamic web page, then the a program is executed at the server side. Okay, and after that the result is sent to the browser. But if the client asks for an active page, okay, if the client asks for an active page, so what will the server do? Sent the server send a program to the web browser along with the HTML page. See, web page HTML plus client side program. Okay, the server send an HTML page plus a program to the browser, and that program is executed at the client side, at the browser. Okay, see, there is difference. In static web pages, the server will not do any processing by its own. Simply it locate the file and transfer the file to the browser. Second, in case of dynamic, the server execute the program locally at the server side and send only the result to the browser. Okay, but in case of active web page, the server not only send the HTML page but also send a program to the browser, where at the browser side that program is executed. Clear? I think no confusion should be there in between three types of web pages. Clear or not? Okay. So this is all about web pages. How many web pages are there? So you will get this when we discuss the JavaScript and something like that. We will get this type of things. That's why I first covered this one. Okay. So when we come to the difference between static, in exam time you may ask the difference between static and dynamic. Okay. So what are the difference? The difference is that in static the web page remains same or remain constant until someone changes its code. Okay, until someone manually changes its code. Okay, or in case of dynamic web pages, contents or content of the pages are different for different users or different visitors, you can say. Okay, and static web pages are very simple. Simply you can just write HTML. By using HTML and CSS you can just create the static web page. Okay, but in case dynamic web pages are slightly complicated because you have to use Ajax something, but there are some you can say Java applet. Okay, these things you can use in dynamic web pages. Sorry, not Java applet. You can say in for static web pages is very simple, like HTML and whatever. But for dynamic web pages, you can use HTML and CSS also. But other than that, also some other is used. Okay. GSP, Java server pages, this type of things. You will get this one when we discuss JavaScript and all. And in static web pages, as I told you that information are static, means information are very rarely changed, and static web pages take less time to load, and dynamic web pages take more time to load. Obviously it will take time because a program is executed at the server side, so it may take time to execute that program also. And yes, uh, as I told that static web pages are very simple. By using HTML and CSS you can simply make a static web page. But for making a Java web page or for creating a Java web page, you have to write AJAX, ASP, and common gateway interface. This type of languages you have to write for creating a dynamic web page. Okay, so these are some few differences between static and web pages. Okay. So any confusion on this?